Hello everybody, thanks for pressing play. In this video we're looking at this turbo automatic Honda Civic. Brian's my name. If there's any information you want on this really cool Civic, please do call, text, WhatsApp 086 843 1945. If you want information about the car, if you want information about warranties or finance or trading in or scrapping a car or whatever it is in terms of a car or a car deal, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits 086 843 1945. And just before we get going, we are Fitzpatrick's Garage, a family-run business in operation for 70 years. So it'll give you good peace of mind if you're buying a car like this. You know there's going to be good after-sales service because we know the product, because we're familiar with it. So in this video, what we're going to do is have a look at the features that are on the outside of the car, and we're going to have a look at the features that are on the inside of the car as well. And we're going to go for a decent drive in the car, so by the end of the video, you will know all about the automatic Honda Civic. Anywho, let's start off by going for a bit of a drive. The weather is absolutely crap. But anyway, okay. So the first thing is automatic Honda Civic. There's lots of features in this car. So some of them are relevant to the fact that it's an automatic, and some of them are relevant to the fact that it's what's called an SR specification, or in other words, Smart Plus in Ireland. One of the first things I like on these cars is to do with safety. So when you're driving along down a road, you will have inside in the binnacle here, this little symbol here, which is blank right now. It's telling you the current speed zone. So once we pass the speed zone, see the way it lights up? It tells us the current speed zone and we're now in. Small feature, but I think it's really neat. Another thing is a lot of people ask us on these, D back into S, what's the difference? So if you go from drive back into the sport mode, you can see the engine revolutions have now jumped up. When the engine revolutions are higher, you have better access to power more immediately. So when you put your foot down, because the engine revolutions have jumped up, you have access to more instantaneous power than you would have had in the D function. Another feature I like on these cars then is this trip computer. So you see the little I button on the steering wheel? It's allowing me to toggle between all the menus, so things like average speed, fuel efficiency, how much fuel is left, audio information, phone information, all that kind of stuff is displayed up there. And it's right pretty much in the driver's eye line, so it allows you to keep looking dead ahead of you. Automatic cars in general are just class because you don't have to change gears, and let's face it, it is nice just to sit back and relax. But you can be more engaged with an automatic car. So you see the little paddles on the left or right hand side of the steering wheel. If I want, I can use the left paddle here to toggle down from, fourth, third, second, first, or I can go up gears, first, second, third, fourth. This car doesn't essentially have gears because it's a continuously variable transmission, but it can simulate them, and it just makes it more exciting to drive. A lot of people ask about the acceleration of these cars. So getting from 0 up to 100 kilometers an hour, that's just a little bit over 10 seconds or so. The car's got 124 horsepower. And if you're unfamiliar with that number, then I'd liken it very much to a lot of 1.6 diesels. It accelerates very, very similarly to those, all the way up as far as 120 kilometers an hour if you're joining the motorway. Another pretty cool feature I like on these cars, if you remember earlier, we had the speed sign recognition function. Well, this car will have a speed limiter function. So speed limiter, you can limit your speed and just tell the car, I don't want to exceed a certain speed. But what's a little bit more neat in these, you have a second limiter function, and you can set that, and what that's going to do then is going to monitor those speed signs we talked about. But when you go through a speed sign, it will actually start beeping, and it'll restrict your power until it brings you back down to the correct speed. And then at that point, if you want, you can manually override it if you floor the accelerator. But it's really, really handy, just in case you didn't see a speed sign somewhere. What's also cool as well is it'll have adaptive cruise control. So what I mean by that is cruise control, you set your speed and it automatically maintains it. But up here in the corner, you can tell it how far you want to stay behind the car in front. And even if the car in front of you stops dead, it'll actually stop behind it without you touching the brake pedal. So you got the information feedback up here, but it's very, very useful. Also, if you set the lane keep assist, the car will actively manage and watch the white lines and yellow lines either side of the road and try and keep you between them. Over here then we have controls for Bluetooth and audio, and all that kind of information is over through here. And then after that Honda Connect system in through here then is going to have lots of touch and swipe setup. So it's an Android powered radio. First thing is navigation is Garmin, so no matter what kind of phone you have, by the way, it won't actually make a difference, it'll always be compatible. So Garmin navigation can be updated once a year. After that then we have another tab down here which is going to be things like audio information. So if you want to stream music via Bluetooth or use USB or whatever, that's in through there as well. One of the big things in this car is going to be Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. So you can sync up your phone with that, and it'll allow you to use things like Google Maps and Siri and all that kind of stuff as well. So pretty cool, I think. In terms of how these cars drive on the road though, I think they're fun. The car is wide. What I mean by that is it's actually a good thing because the car feels wide, it feels sure-footed, it's enjoyable to drive, and it makes you feel more confident. It's also got independent rear suspension, so you get a little bit more feedback in through the steering wheel as well. So you kind of have a better idea of what's going on the road compared to the previous model that had a solid bar along the back. Independent suspension just allows a bit more movement, and it's just a nicer, more exciting drive in my opinion. And that turbo VTEC engine, it's really, really responsive. And because we said we had a couple of modes on the gearbox, then you can really engage with the car. So if you go into D or S, if you want D for comfort, great, or if you want S for sport, then you've also got those paddles on the steering wheel again, which just make the car feel a little bit more more enjoyable. It's good to engage with the driving. Not everyone's into it. Some people just want a cruiser and the car can do that, and some people want a car that's a little bit of fun on the back road, and it can also do that as well. Another feature in these cars then is the eco function. So if I hit the eco button down through here, it's going to reduce how aggressive things like the cruise control is on the steering wheel. It's going to reduce how aggressive the air conditioner is, and it's going to reduce how sensitive our throttle is as well. So again, just to make the car a little bit more relaxed and a little more fuel efficient as well. Anyway, so let's head back to the garage, and what we're going to do then is we're going to have a look at the features that are on the inside of the car and the outside of the car as well. So I'm going to run through exactly what's on this Smart Plus SR specification. So I think anyone that's looking at a car like this, you do definitely want a car that's cool looking, because you wouldn't buy a car like this unless you thought that it was actually good looking. Features on the outside of the car. So headlights in through here. So you got a dipped headlight, full headlight, a nice big daytime running light down the left hand side and right hand side of each headlamp. And then there's front fog lights down through here as well. One thing I also really love in these cars are those orange side markers. I don't know why, I just think they're cool looking. From the rear end of the car, again, it's got that distinctive shape, and you can see those side markers. They just mark out the car's width. So when you're behind one, it's kind of distinctive looking. Anyway, LED taillights, they're pretty cool looking, so it's got a really distinctive shape. If you're driving behind one of these at night time, you won't really mistake it with too many other cars. The wheels themselves then, they're a nice diamond cut wheel, and somebody's got some tyre paste on it. So they are not marks, they are just bits of tyre paste we haven't cleaned yet. See the way they're shiny and reflective? That looks really, really nice as well. Diamond cut wheels like those, they just look cool under artificial light or on a sunny day as well, because they're shiny and reflective, and they kind of change shade depending on the weather. In other words, they look slightly different colours depending on if it's sunny or not. Okay, key is intelligent, which means if I hit the lock button, it'll turn off the headlights after a couple of seconds, or similarly I can turn them back on by unlocking the car. The other thing then as well is I can let the windows down using the key, or similarly again, if I want, I can hit the lock button, and if I hit it twice and hold my finger down on it, it will retract the wing mirrors and also those windows as well. The engine, so as we talked about a little bit of time ago, 124 brake horsepower, 1 litre turbo VTEC engine, and it's got a nice thump off it. So if you come drive it, you'll see what I mean. Styling, front of the car, nice black grille on the front, black grille down the bottom. Down around the side, you got these black style alloy wheels. You got the tinted glass, which is black as well. You come around to the back of the car, you got a black spoiler, you got a black section that comes around the rear of the taillights, and you got black sections along the bottom. This is not an accident. All these things actually come together really congruently on the car, and they're small details that sometimes people may not take notice of. In terms of the car, the boot is absolutely massive once you open it. So if you open up the boot, it's gigantic. We've gone on holidays in these cars so many times. You let this cover back, which is flexible, and it allows you to load up stuff as high as you want. And the fact that the parcel shelf has now disappeared, it's really, really useful, even when you have a buggy as well. And if you want anything awkward, you can flatten down the seats, which means then you end up with a load area in the rear of the car that's pretty much the same as a car style van. And the boot's also got useful things like a light and also a 12-volt outlet. In terms of closing down the boot then, you got handles either side if you're left or right handed, and this is your camera. If you buy this car, you'll have to keep that clean for effective use of the rear camera. In terms of the back of the car then, okay, so sitting in the back of the car, headroom is good. Tinted windows are savage. I know we talked about them already, but they are actually functional because we have a young child, and it is actually very good. We have one of these cars at home actually. Stops the sun getting on top of the child's eyes, so it is actually very useful. In terms of size, so this is the amount of headroom I'm going to have. As it got a bit darker, let the windows down. So this is the amount of legroom that I'm going to have. There is a tweeter here, there is a speaker down through here, an electric window over here, and then I've got child-lockable windows, and also the doors are child-lockable as well. And like I said, then we have one of these cars at home, so the eyes of fixed point is really, I know I'm not, sounds like such a sales pitch. It is actually an easy eyes of fixed point to use. There is an armrest up through the centre with some drinks holders. There's 3 head restraints behind me, 3 3-point safety belts, and then another eyes of fixed point over here. And then those doors have side impact protection beams on either side as well. And then as we start to move up forward, we're going to start to get curtain airbags for side impact protection up here as well into the forward cabin. This car will also have an immobiliser and an alarm as standard as well. Getting into the front of the car then, the seat that I'm in again is black cloth. It's height adjustable, which means I can move it upwards or downwards. I've got anti-whiplash head restraints, which means if somebody hits me from behind, I can have these forward and my head doesn't go back as far in the event of an accident. And I've got lumbar support as well, so I've got a little button down here, and what that's going to do is harden up the back part of the seat there, and if you've got a bad back or anything like that, you really feel it dig in, and it gives you great support on a long run. Other nice little touches in the car are these aluminium pedals. I think they're quite cool looking and they feel nice to use. Sitting in the car, so a lot of the features we talked about already, but electrics for windows and mirrors down through there. Over here is, oh yeah, parking sensors. Actually, I forgot to show you those. So as you can see, they make noise when we're going forwards towards an object, and they also make noise when we're going backwards towards an object, and they got dynamic guidelines so you know what direction of travel you're going, and if you want you can actually adjust them to have a looking straight down view or a normal view or a wide panoramic view. There's also collision mitigation, which means under 32 kilometers an hour, if something's about to impact you, if you haven't touched the brake pedal, this car is actually going to try and stop you hitting that object if you are under 32 kilometers an hour. So it's city kind of stuff. When you're coast along, maybe looking where you're meant to be looking, actually that could really save you a very minor fender bender one. And then there's a lane change warning, which warns us if we drift out of our lane. And we also said there's also a lane keep assist. So just to distinguish, this one warns you if you drift out of lane, whereas this one actually actively tries to keep the steering within the lane. Traction control is down through there, and then as we move up through here there will be automatic wipers which come on themselves as it rains, and wipers which are fully automated which come on as it gets dark, and they'll also dip when they meet traffic. Over through here then we have speed limiter and adaptive cruise control that we talked about already, and over there then is controls for the iMid function in through the center, as well as Bluetooth and audio connectivity, and you can have voice commands from there as well. The voice commands can be for audio, for climate, for really a lot of stuff in the car that actually happens on the head unit. And then the other thing as well, not to be confused with another way you can do it, is Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which also take voice commands, but that's through your Google Assistant or Siri, or depending on what kind of phone you have. Over here then we saw already, it's got a Honda Connect system which has navigation and audio and radio and reverse camera, and it's even got things like an internet browser and all that kind of stuff as well if you want, but you got to be stopped to use internet browser. Front and rear windscreen demisters, warm or cold on each side, touch and swipe depending what way you want it to work. And then we talked about the gearbox: park, reverse, neutral, drive and sport, and you saw we can interchange between them while we're driving, and that will work with the paddle shifters that are up through here as well. Eco function, which reduces how aggressive cruise control and air conditioner is, automatic handbrake and a brake hold, which stops us rolling backwards, but it's not that useful in an automatic car because automatic cars don't really want to roll backwards anyway. Drinks holder, storage, another USB connector that go with these ones that are over here, which is another HDMI, sorry, a USB connector, a HDMI for video, and then another 12 volt over through there like what we saw in the boot already, and that is a little bit of a storage area. I'll be honest though, it is a little bit awkward where it is, but you can put your wire in through there and then you can pull it out through the dash here to your device. One other thing about these cars as well actually is the roof cloth is black. Why does that matter? Well, it doesn't really, but it's just a nice, black roof cloths are nice. They're generally associated with a sportier car. Other bits and pieces I forgot to say, usual electrics are over through here as we talked about. I forgot to say the door handles and small little sections along through here, they're a dark brushed aluminium. It just complements the grey that you'll see on the seats over through here as well. So when it comes to cars, there's so much stuff that you actually don't think about, that it all comes together, and it's not even just sit down and kind of point it out. You start to see the coordination that actually goes into these cars. Anyway, there you have it. That is our 1-litre turbo VTEC 2018, and that is a Honda Civic in an SR Smart Plus model. This car is going to be supplied with 12 months warranty. It's going to be comprehensively serviced and comprehensively cleaned before you pick it up. And like what we were saying already, we are a main Honda agent, so we know these cars inside out. We are familiar with these vehicles because we work on them every day. Anyway, hopefully that has been a useful guide to the Civic. Anywho, thanks for taking time to watch. Hopefully the video has been useful. If you're somebody that's looking for a nice, well-spec'd, reliable automatic car, then this is something that's worth considering. Or if you're familiar with Civics already and you're looking for a Smart Plus like this is going to be one that's worth considering. The condition is nice all the way out, all the way through even. Anyway, thanks a million for taking time to watch. If you are interested in the car, let me know. 086 843 1945, call, text, WhatsApp. Or if you're watching on YouTube and you think the video's been useful, please do like and subscribe because it lets me know the video's useful. But more specifically, if there's stuff I'm missing or something you want me to cover, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll address it for you, no problem. Thanks a million. Hopefully the car's of interest. Thanks for taking time to watch.